In front of a huge crowd and millions watching across the Islamic world, the supreme leader of Iran, just a couple of days after that country had rained missile hell on Israel, addressed not only Israel but the world, calling upon Muslims everywhere to unite. The Khamenei said that Israel would be demolished. He also, holding a sniper rifle in this address, issued a warning. He said that Israel's response might come, but that doesn't mean that Iran is done yet. Take a look.
The Supreme Leader of Iran, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, made a rare public appearance in Tehran on Friday. Khamenei led the Friday prayers at the Imam Khomeini Musalla to commemorate the death of Hezbollah chief Sayyid Hassan Nasrallah. The last time he led Friday prayers was 5 years ago to commemorate the death of Qasem Soleimani, commander of Iran Revolutionary Guard Corps. The streets of Tehran were flooded by lakhs of people. Every road, every corner of the mosque was plastered with posters of the Hezbollah chief and Hamas leader Ismail Haniyeh. The Iranian supreme leader got visibly emotional as he hailed Nasrallah as a martyr.
We are all in a state of pain and mourning the martyrdom of our dear Sayyid. This is a big loss. However, our mourning does not mean losing hope.
Khamenei also recalled Tuesday's missile strikes on Israel, referring to Iran's attack as least punishment.
The move taken by our armed forces was the least punishment for the occupying Zionist regime in the face of the crimes, the unbelievable crimes committed by that regime, the bloodthirsty regime.
With a sniper rifle next to him in a symbolic show of strength, he also justified the October 7 Hamas attack on Israel.
And Al-Aqsa flood operation that October last year was carried out, that was a correct move, logical move based on international law, and Palestinians had the right to do so.
In his address that lasted over an hour, Khamenei also issued a direct warning to Israel.
Any nation has the right to defend its soil, its houses, its country, its interests. They have the right to defend that in the face of aggressors. We neither hesitate, we will not give up, but we will not rush at the same time.
Khamenei's address was broken by chants of death to Israel and America and cries in support of Hezbollah and Hamas.
The enemy of the Islamic Republic of Iran and the enemy of the Iranian nation is the enemy of the Palestinian nation. The enemy is the same. The order is issued from one place, and that order is issued from the same place to attack Islamic nations and Islamic countries.
The Supreme Leader of Iran has made his and Iran's intent clear that this war is far from over. Bureau Report, India Today.
India Today, the only channel with reporters in all of the countries directly involved in this current unfolding conflict. India Today's Ashraf Wani has been in Lebanon for the last 1 week, reporting from all the sites where airstrikes have been taking place. Gaurav Sawant is in Tel Aviv, Israel. He will be in the northern part of that country in a short while from now. Gaurav, very quickly coming to you first, because all eyes are now on Israel's next move. Nobody, can speculate as to how Israel will act. It is the Jewish New Year, which gets over tomorrow, and all the sense is before that first anniversary of the Hamas attack last year, there could be a big Israeli response. What are you hearing, Gaurav?
Shiv, Israel is in what is known in military parlance as stand 2. Israel is on stand 2, which means it is on a state of highest alert. The offensive is on. Israel is relentlessly striking at terror bases, and that we've been reporting very extensively. Ashraf's been reporting from Lebanon at the receiving end, and now I'm here, in Tel Aviv right now. On my way to the north, we're on the highway to the north, and on this highway, you do see military movement. You do see a lot of action, where Israel is actually gearing up. What is Israel's aim? Israel's aim is to ensure that Hezbollah no longer remains a threat to its people in the north, especially those 70,000 people who've been displaced. This is Shabbat. This is also the New Year. Now, in this time when everyone should be celebrating, Israel wants to celebrate, but wants to celebrate with those 70,000 people when they get back home. And for that, they want that from the Israel-Lebanon border, where I would be in a while from now, to the Litani River, which is about a 20-kilometer stretch, in instances 30 kilometers, at its narrowest about 8 kilometers. There should be no Hezbollah in southern Lebanon. That's easier said than done. It was attempted in 2008, did not succeed. It's being attempted once again, where they hope that they will have at least some element of success, given the fact that they've gone far more scientifically and with military precision, as you well know, taking out the entire Hezbollah top leadership, taking out the second-rung leadership, taking out the tactical level commanders, yet at least thousands and thousands of commanders and cadres still remain. So it's a long haul, but this time Israel is in it for the long haul, Shiv.
It's in it for the long haul. In fact, just shortly after the Al Khamenei made his speech today after the Friday prayers, there was a barrage of rockets that emanated from southern Lebanon into Israel, and the airstrikes have continued. Before I take you to southern Lebanon, where India Today's Ashraf Wani has been reporting, I want to play out for you Rajesh Pawar's report from Tehran, the capital of Iran. Like I said, India Today present on the ground in all of these countries. Here's Rajesh Pawar from Tehran telling us about how Iran is preparing for what, by all accounts, will be some kind of an Israeli reaction to that missile strike.
I'm right now in the capital of Iran, Tehran. Today there was a huge rally in which Ayatollah Khamenei addressed the people here, the public here. And it's after a long gap that Ayatollah Khamenei has come out in public. He has spoken openly to the people. It's after a gap of almost 5 to 6 years. And today when he spoke, lakhs of people were gathering there. They had gathered there to listen to him. There were huge range of emotions in the people. Some people were crying, some were angry, some were talking of revenge. But the overall atmosphere here was very tense. And people are asking for revenge, and especially what happened, what Iran did to Israel a few days back, looks like that the attack from Israel and maybe from America on Iranian soil is imminent, and Tehran probably will be one of the targets. This is Rajesh Pawar for India Today from Tehran.
And from Iran, let's go straight to southern Lebanon, where India Today's Ashraf Wani has been fearlessly reporting in all of the worst hit areas, from the place where Hassan Nasrallah was killed, to the Hezbollah headquarters, to the place where airstrikes are continuing, even in suburbs of Beirut. Ashraf, in the wake of the Al Khamenei speech today, virtually warning Israel of any kind of an escalation, it seems that the operations, both from the air and the ground in southern Lebanon, between the Hezbollah and the Israel Army and Air Force, those are continuing. There is no stopping there.
Absolutely not any kind of stoppage for the ongoing slaughter in the Lebanon, particularly on the Hezbollah sites, what the IDF claims. But here people say that these all are not the Hezbollah sites, particularly today I visited the Tyre city. You may have watched that report. That city is not controlled by Hezbollah. There are also some businessmen, hoteliers, restaurant owners from different parts of the Lebanon. Maybe some buildings may be of part of the Hezbollah, but without any kind of proper identification, that city has been previously bombed. Last year I went to that city that was packed with the international and national tourists of the Lebanon. But now that gives the deserted look. Now what I am currently witnessing, yesterday evening we have seen the drone movement very intensifying all across the skies in Lebanon, particularly in the Beirut. Now that drone movement is quite heardable here. One can listen and heard the large sounds of drones, not only one, multiple drones, which probably look for the targets in the afternoon or in the sunlight. Then as evening starts, the bombing from the IDF and Israeli Air Force continues in the south, not only in the South Lebanon, but in fact whole country, from Sheba Valley to South Lebanon to suburb of Beirut.
Ashraf, Gaurav and Rajesh, thank you for the moment, gentlemen, for joining me. We will come back to you. Remember, all three of our reporters in the three conflict areas. Gaurav in northern Israel, Ashraf in southern Lebanon, where the airstrikes are taking place, Rajesh in Tehran, the capital of Iran, where things could hot up very, very soon. We will be going back to them. Remember their faces. They will be bringing you this entire conflict firsthand. Now, Iran may be signaling an escalation, but Israel too is not backing down for a moment. The Israeli Defense Forces have targeted Hezbollah chief's successor, Hashim Safieddin, as you just heard Ashraf say today. The same day, Nasrallah was secretly buried at an undisclosed location. The reason that it is an undisclosed location and done in secret is because if it is a public funeral and the Hezbollah chief was a very popular figure, huge numbers of people could turn out, and that could lead to collateral damage in the event of an airstrike. Take a look.
Nearly a week after the elimination of Hezbollah's chief, Hassan Nasrallah, the IDF has confirmed that it targeted Nasrallah's apparent heir in Beirut during meetings with other terror operatives.
Israeli airstrike in Beirut continues. In one of these airstrikes, Israel claimed to have targeted senior Hezbollah leader Hashim Safieddin, considered a potential successor to the slain Hezbollah leader Hassan Nasrallah. It happened on the day Nasrallah was to be buried. A series of massive blasts rocked Beirut's southern suburbs late Thursday night and into Friday morning. These are suspected to have hit Safieddin, as reported in a social media post by Axios. But it hasn't been verified by any. Hashim Safieddin is the maternal first cousin of the late Hezbollah chief Hassan Nasrallah, and like him is a cleric who wears the black turban denoting descent from Islam's prophet Muhammad. As head of the Executive Council, Safieddin oversees Hezbollah's political affairs. He also sits on the Jihad Council that manages the group's military operations. Both US State Department and Saudi Arabia designated him a terrorist in 2017. He was also at the center of sanctions placed on Hezbollah by the US and Saudi Arabia in 2018. Hashim Safieddin's public statements often reflect Hezbollah's militant stance and its alignment with the Palestine cause.
This aggression certainly has its own punishment and retribution. This punishment is surely coming by the will of God Almighty.
Safieddin's family ties and a physical resemblance to Nasrallah, as well as his religious status as a descendant of Muhammad, were all in his favor to succeed his cousin as the chief of Hezbollah.
Well, Lebanon's capital, Beirut, continues to be battered in its southern suburbs by Israeli airstrikes. The skyline, as you will see in the report I'm about to show you, is covered in smoke, and there's destruction and devastation in some of those neighborhoods. India Today's Ashraf Wani, who you just heard, has been reporting relentlessly, not just from Beirut, but from the southern Lebanese areas, which are the strongholds of the Hezbollah. Here's the latest of what he just sent us. Plumes of smoke rise above Lebanon's capital skyline. Massive explosions rock Beirut,
Allahu Akbar,
shaking even buildings kilometers away from the capital. Israel's precision strikes causing extensive damage to Beirut's southern suburbs, reducing buildings to rubble.
Or we can say missiles from air or air bombing. This is the spot where that bomb has actually hit. I cannot even move here, and at least 20 to 25 feet deep this hole has been created, and the infrastructure what was here, you can see its push, and it has completely got vanished.
Beirut too was up in flames, just as a civilian aircraft was about to land, but it had a close shave and there were no casualties. Signs of a larger escalation are looming, with Israel asking 20 Lebanese towns to evacuate. During its southern Lebanon offensive, Israeli forces seized Hezbollah military infrastructure, and Israel has warned it will not stop until Hezbollah is wiped out.
We are very determined to destroy this infrastructure and kill whoever is there. We will not allow Hezbollah to settle in these places in the future. The severe damage to Hezbollah in all areas in Beirut, in the Lebanon Valley, in South Lebanon will continue.
While Israel pushes ahead with its ground invasion of southern Lebanon, how far it will go in its battle to neutralize Lebanon is unclear. With Ashraf Wani in Lebanon, Bureau Report, India Today. The big question on everyone's mind now is what happens next? And by all accounts, the next action is going to be from Israel's side. 2 days after Iranian missiles struck targets in Israel, what is Israel going to do next? Let's try and decode that. Joining me on the news track tonight is Ephraim Halevi. He was director of the Mossad, Israel's premium intelligence agency from 1998 to 2002. We also have with us, we will also be joined by Salman Seema, who's a former political prisoner from Iran. Mr. Halevi, welcome. Thank you for your time here on India Today. My first question to you, Mr. Halevi, is everyone is wondering, the question on everyone's mind right now is, how is Israel going to respond or react or retaliate to the missile attack from Iran a couple of days ago? How do you see that, sir? What is your assessment?
I think that Israel has not yet made up its mind how to respond to the attack last Thursday. I think that we are taking our time because we need to consult with other players in the region. We have to consult also with the United States, which is solidly behind us.
Yes.
And we also have to take into account how this confrontation can be ended, because we have no interest of our own to attack Iran for no reason whatsoever. And I think that the Iranian involvement has been unfortunate in many, many ways.
Mr. Halevi, what did you think of the Khamenei's comments today in his speech? He issued a kind of warning to Israel. He said, even if Israel retaliates, the missile attack from Iran is not going to be the last word. There will be more from their side. What did you make of what he said? What was your big takeaway?
My takeaway is that after the attack that they carried out a couple of days ago, which in many respects was ineffective, and the damage caused in Israel was very, very marginal from every point of view, I think that the risk they are taking by engaging us is far beyond what they will be able to obtain if they continue to attack us, because I believe we have the capability to meet these attacks and to prevent serious damage to Israel.
Could you give us a picture, like you said in your answer to my first question, Mr. Halevi, that Israel is weighing its options at this point of time. Without obviously going into operational details, could you give us a sense of what possible targets could be struck if Israel chooses to actually attack back in Iran? Could there be nuclear facilities? Could there be military facilities? Could there be oil refineries? What are the possible targets in Iran, sir?
All the targets you have mentioned are speculative. And I think it would be irresponsible for me to indicate which of the options that you have listed just now would be taken. I don't know myself at the moment. I am not a part of the discussions that are carried out here in Israel. What I do believe is that Iran, I think, would do well in order not to take action which would involve her in a means and a way that would not be conducive to its interests. Right. After all, Iran is several thousands of kilometers away. Iran has a population of over 80 million. And I think they should be first and foremost concerned with protecting their population and not involving them in all kinds of activities which might take place. I believe that the Iranians would do well to keep out of this. After all, Iranian presence in the region is not something which is determined by God. It is a practical interest of theirs at the moment, and I think that they would do well to lower the tension and lower the heat, which they are now trying to create around this original exchange which they initiated.
Ephraim Halevi, very much grateful for your assessment and your view on this unfolding story. Thank you very much for your views on this and joining us here on India Today. I'd also like to welcome into this discussion Salman Seema. Is a former political prisoner from Iran who's currently based in Toronto, Canada. Salman, welcome. What do you make of this current situation, Salman, 2 days after Iran, the country that you're from, attacked Israel in an unprecedented manner, nearly 200 missiles. All eyes are now on an Israeli reaction. The Khamenei of Iran has also issued a warning to Israel. What are you making of this, Salman? What do you think is going to happen?
Thank you for having me in your show. First, I want to say that this is not a war by my fellow Iranian. This is the war between the Islamic jihadist regime in Iran with Israel. So Israel has the right to defend itself. And I can say that Khamenei did a big mistake. But Khamenei was under pressure by the hardcore supporter. They would say that, oh, Israel kill Haniya, Israel kill Hassan Nasrallah. What should be our reaction? And we see that this kind of attack to Israel, the regime cannot damage Israel as much as they claim. And on the other hand, the regime shows its empty hand. You know that just shooting some missile in the desert that one poor Palestinian casualty and no Israeli hopefully died. So Israel gonna respond and Israel gonna hit back regime hard. But what gonna happen inside Iran, we don't know yet.
Okay, Salman Seema, thank you very much for speaking to India Today. This is obviously a story that is going to unfold in unpredictable ways over the next few days. Here on India Today, we want to bring in voices from these countries, people who've had lived experiences in these countries, to give us their expert view. That is a far better way of reporting this story rather than speculating amidst this entire fog of war.